Okay, friends, day 5, firearm deer season in Missouri. And Papa Bear went back to work today, so I'm hunting alone, coming out for the afternoon hunt in a different spot, a little closer to home, safer for me being by myself. And I forgot to turn the camcorder on when I started walking in, but I'm just about to where I'm going to set up to hunt. Thought I'd bring you along. Okay, folks, first of all, I want to say, you know how I was whining about my padded seat? Well, our four-wheeler is broke down. I'm hunting on the ranch today. Normally, I'll take the four-wheeler and I will ride most of the distance, park the four-wheeler, and then walk on into the woods. And today, I had to walk the entire way because our four-wheeler is broke down. Now, my daughter-in-law did give me a ride up the road and dropped me off as she was headed to town so that I could walk down into the ranch from the top side. So that saved me some walking. I appreciate that. I really missed the four-wheeler today. Wished I had it here. It comes in handy. I always say I'd like to have a side-by-side, but don't want the payments to go along with it. Would be handy. Be good and handy on the ranch for working and hunting. I think this is a good spot. If I don't see any action, I may walk on down into the woods. But what I was going to say is, after today, I may not be whining about that padded chair, because today this is my seat, a log. And it gets uncomfortable really quick. As I'm looking around out here, I have seen deer poop. I seen a scrape when we came in, and I don't know if you can see that tree right there. There's a rub. So I'd say it's a pretty good spot. Also, if I don't see any action after a little bit, I'll walk on deeper into the woods, and it's a good ways down. But I have a metal folding chair set up down there that I can use. But it's not a whole lot more comfortable, I don't think, even than this fallen tree here. But it's a seat. It's better than no seat. So I'm appreciative. I just want to say, too, I know yesterday I got emotional at the end of the day, and I couldn't fight back the tears, and I cried there for a little bit. Paul was rubbing my shoulder and comforting me. I was pretty emotional all day yesterday after hearing about the lost hunter, and because it could be any of us, and for his family and the folks that are looking for him. I checked this morning, and if I'm correct, I don't think they found him yet. I haven't checked again just recently, but breaks my heart for them. I hope they find him. I hope he had enough provisions with him that they find him safe and sound. We're still praying for the family and the missing hunter and the folks that are looking for him. But yeah, it was weighing heavy on my heart yesterday, and I was pretty emotional, not as chipper as normal. And he's weighing heavy on my mind today. Not as chipper today either. Kind of takes a little of the fun out of it when that's constantly on your mind, and it reminds you of the dangers of coming out and hunting. We work hard. We don't just walk out here and harvest one. I mean, we put a lot of hours in. My husband's working today, and I'm out here by myself trying to harvest one. So wish me luck. If I get one, I'll hop back on here if I remember, and if I don't drop him in the spot, which is ideal, but if I don't and we have to trail him, I'll take you with me while I trail it. Thanks for coming along, folks. If you haven't yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'd like to grow our channel, and we'd love for you to follow us on our homesteading journey. Okay, y'all. I made the executive decision to move to that other hunting spot I was telling you about. The wind wasn't in my favor for where I was hunting, so I've been hiking in further to this other spot, and hopefully the direction I'm sitting there gives me more shooting options. I just wasn't satisfied with that one when I had to turn the direction that the wind's blowing in my face, and had to assess where it would be blowing my scent to, and I just wasn't satisfied with it. I didn't feel like it would be a successful hunt there, and it may not be a successful hunt here, and I may have just did a whole lot more walking for nothing, but I hope not. I hope I made the right decision. And I still would like to have my padded chair today, but like I said, I didn't want to have to carry it in back here. So, I have saw some deer poop in this area too, and oh, I'm hoping it makes for a good hunt. Been seeing signs as I walked in. Have the leaves cleared out around it, so when I stand up it's not noisy. But yeah, that's my fancy chair for today. Teach me to complain about a padded chair, huh? Alright. If I get something, I'll hop back on here. Thought I'd hop back on here for just a second before I put it up and get quiet and get serious. Give you a little view here. I have more open shooting lanes here that I wouldn't have had at that other spot. Because the wind today here seems to be coming out of the northwest, and you want to sit where the wind's blowing in your face and it's blowing the scent behind you. Oh, something may come in and bust you behind you sometimes, but most of the time they're going to wind you, they're going to smell your scent, and they're not going to come that direction. So you want your face in the wind, with the wind blowing on your face, and that'll be blowing your scent the opposite direction of where the deer are coming from, and hopefully they won't wind you. They won't get your scent and spook them. I didn't bring the compass. I actually forgot it. It's sitting on my bedside table. Not a good place for it to be. But I'm close enough to the ranch. I mean, I walked a long ways in, but I'm close enough to the ranch. I don't know if occasionally you can hear dogs in the background. The dogs are loud. Their voice carries a long ways. But it doesn't scare the deer because they're used to it. If it was an unfamiliar noise, it'd be alright, but it's a noise that they're used to, and they know that's no danger to them. Anyhow, thought I'd get on there and give you those few tips. Oh, and one more thing before I forget. I told you I have sometimes and sometimes I forget things. One main thing I was going to tell you was that I've been trying to load our videos for the last several days. Of course, we've been in the woods so much that by the time I get home, there's very little time left to edit videos or to put them together to post them. And then my Wi-Fi has been extremely slow, so they're taking forever to load. And I think the shorter videos like day 3 and 4, I think they have loaded before too because it's a longer video. So day 2 is still coming. So yeah, you're probably missing one there when we're talking about stuff on day 3 that we said from the previous day. You haven't seen that yet. That will be hunting day 2 as soon as it loads. Sorry, but we live in a valley here, and like I said, our Wi-Fi is very poor. Maybe if we got a booster or something, it might help, but for now, it's what we got. Thanks. So yeah, I want to say thanks again for bearing with us while we get these videos uploaded and dealing with some of them not uploading in the correct order. Makes it kind of confusing when you're watching some of them. Just to let you know, in day 2, the one that hasn't loaded yet, Paul harvested a doe, and yesterday, our grandson Austin, he got a doe, and our son Rocky harvested a very nice 9-point. We don't hunt for horns, but they're nice too sometimes. Yeah, in the future we'll have better video equipment with higher resolution and possibly do something to boost our Wi-Fi at the ranch so that we're not having all these difficulties. But we appreciate you being patient and following us along. Anyhow, Austin got his meat packaged up last night. Him and his dad, Jeremiah, did together. And usually the adults do it. Now they're more having the kids to help and learn and skin it and cut it up and how to cut it. And he learned how to bag it up, write the date on it and his name and what was in the bag, because after they're frozen you can't tell what's in that bag. Ziploc bag. We vacuum seal some stuff too, but as fast as we go through it around here at the ranch, most generally some good freezer bags work just fine. Also, just wanted to add, this wind out here today is brutal. I have 3 layers of stuff on. I have my thermals, my hunting clothes is a second layer, and then my bibs, my heavy coat, and a thing that goes around my neck to keep it warm. And of course my I have a orange cap I wear, but I also have this fuzzy orange hat. I walked out with that on a couple days ago, and the grandson said, "What is that you're wearing on your head, Nana?" Oh, yeah, makes me look like a polar bear. And if you notice when we're walking through the woods and stuff and you see our shadows, yeah, we do look like probably 2 bears side by side walking through there. Because we have, well, to start out with, we're fluffy. And then you add 3 layers of clothes and the bibs and the big coats and all the stuff we're carrying and the backpacks we're carrying and the chairs we're carrying and sometimes the tarp we're carrying, yada yada. Yeah, that makes our shadow in these videos look enormous. That's our story and we're sticking to it. Anyhow, I haven't seen anything yet, and I'm probably not going to if I don't shut my grocery hole. So, I better be quiet. I'm trying to be a little more chipper today, but I'm not going to lie. I just can't get that lost hunter out of my mind. It just breaks my heart. Continued prayers for certain. Alrighty, guys, can you see it? I'm facing in the direction of the sun there, so yeah, it's probably not as delightful to look at. But then out this way is that big uh, reflection of me sitting there with all my layers of clothes on and all my fluffiness. Anywho, it's beautiful out here. Like I said, the wind's brutal. I'm gonna try to stay till dark. I usually do. Wish me luck. Folks, I'm just gonna tell you I'm probably not gonna harvest a deer because instead of paying attention like I should be and listening, I'm trying, but my mind's running. It's thinking about all the things that I need to tell y'all, or that I forgot to tell y'all, or that I want to edit from our previous, or add to our previous conversations where we explain something to you so that it's accurate. You know how I told you that my boots are 400-gram thinsulate? That means they have some insulation, but not a lot. And my toes were freezing the first day. I had hunting socks on though. If you didn't have hunting socks on, yeah, your toes would have froze. And my boots are waterproof. And I know you don't always need waterproof, but I would always buy waterproof because you never know. Just like, it snowed, so my feet would have been wet and cold. So yeah, I wouldn't have no toes left by the time we got back. They just froze plumb off. So get waterproof and don't try to save money and get the lower thinsulate like I did if you want your feet to stay warm. You want, mine are 400-gram thinsulate. Paul's are 800-gram thinsulate. I think in the past he's had some that were either 1,000 or 1,200-gram thinsulate. Of course, the price goes up with that. But if you want your feet to stay really warm, or you have poor circulation in your feet, legs and feet, whatever, that thinsulate is the insulation, and the higher the number, the more it'll have in it. And Paul also made a confession. You know how he said with the 800-gram thinsulate that his was still cold the other day? He says, oh, well, I forgot to mention that I didn't put my hunting socks on. I put regular socks on that first day. Well, I would say that wasn't a slick move. And so if he would have had hunting socks on with his 800-gram thinsulate boots, his feet wouldn't have got cold. Anywho, thought I'd hop on here and explain some of that stuff. And I hope I quit thinking of things while I'm sitting here to tell you, because I want to be able to see a deer. I keep thinking you're just going to be watching these videos and you're going to be going, there's a deer, there's a deer. And I would have missed it because I'm video and I'm talking and not paying attention. Anyhow, we appreciate you all. Y'all, there's a jet going over. I don't know if you hear him or not. I hope he drowns out me talking on here so the deer don't hear it. Anyhow, I was just going to tell you, you might have heard my belly growling just a little bit ago and say, oh, she's been on here telling us you need to make sure that you eat and drink and blah, blah, blah when you're hunting and take care of yourself. And I promise you, I ate before I left the house so that I didn't have any blood sugar problems, blah, blah, blah. And I just think that this big long hike in here, it just wore every bit of it off. Anyhow, it burned up everything I ate at the house, all them calories. I should be twiggy now, but I'm not. But my belly is growling. Sorry about that. Anyhow, but I did eat, I did drink. I am trying to take better care of myself as far as on the hunting days. All the other days of the year, I just want to clarify that too. I do take very good care of myself. I do eat properly. I do hydrate properly. I try to do all the things I'm supposed to do. But the days that I'm hunting, not so much. Don't do as I do. Just saying. Oh, and I forgot to tell you the reason that I remembered about the boots and the cold toes is because my toes are getting cold today. When I tell y'all the wind is brutal today, it's like it was the first day. Except for Paul ain't here for me to talk to and kid around with and laugh with and take my mind off of it. So yeah, y'all probably gonna hear me whining a little bit today. Anyhow, I think it's probably about 3:30 and probably a good time to start seeing something. I quit talking. Oh yeah, one more tip, y'all. You know how I told you I had several layers of clothes on and bibs and a big heavy coat and word of advice, do not drop your gloves. Just saying. I wallered around like a fattening hog for 5 minutes trying to get them gloves off the ground. I got them. My hands are going to be warm now. But I bet I learned my lesson and I'm going to try not to drop them gloves again. And also, when I say don't do as I do, videoing, when you're in the deer woods, it ain't a good idea because they going to hear you talking, or if you ain't talking, that shiny phone of yours, probably like a mirror reflecting, sending little warning signs through the woods and getting their attention that you're there and spooking them off. Yeah, not the best idea when you're hunting, but I sure do enjoy talking to y'all. So I better shut her down. Better quit hopping on here, or I'm not gonna harvest the deer, and I'm gonna have to sit out here and froze just talking to y'all. And can y'all believe that one of my sons, and I'm not gonna do any name dropping, but I should, when previewing some of my footage from some of our hunts and some of the things I'm talking to y'all about, said, Mom, do not put that on Facebook or on YouTube. He said, because if you do, and somebody says, oh, I saw what your mom put on YouTube, he said, I was going to say, that's not my mom. And I don't know why people keep mistaking her as my mother. Is that not rude? I think it's rude. Anywho, I just want to say, I do cut up on here. I am a little silly sometimes. Like I said, we laugh and we have fun, and so does he. He is one of the biggest bull crappers you would ever know. And he's always pulling pranks and saying silly things. And so I don't know how it's any different when I do it because it is normal. I think he just doesn't want people to know that doesn't already know uh, maybe how crazy his mom is or silly. I just think we live in such a stressful world to where there's so many things to worry about that we need to lighten it up sometimes. Have fun. Enjoy life. Life's too short to be unhappy. Yep, my mind's still running. I'm thinking of a few other things I want to tell y'all. Um, I had a friend several years back, and he's like 20 years older than me, and he was, you could tell he was thinking about something, or at least I thought he was. But anyhow, anytime I see somebody pondering for a little bit and in deep thought, I have always said, a penny for your thoughts. Because you never know when somebody needs to talk about something that they're in deep thought about, or, maybe something bothering them, or maybe not. But I always ask because I want to be helpful and because I'm a little bit nosy. But anyhow, his response to me was, "What do you mean?" I said, "What was you thinking about?" He said, "Nothing." I said, "What do you mean, nothing?" And he said, "I was idling." "What do you mean, idling?" He said, "Don't you ever..." Yeah, a jet decides to fly over right now. He said, "I'm idling. Don't you ever just sit and idle and not think about nothing? Like your mind's blank? You're just sitting there idling." I'm like, "No, my brain doesn't idle. It is always thinking of about 100 different things. It's always racing. It's always thinking about anything and everything under the sun." I couldn't even comprehend that someone's mind could idle. And mine definitely didn't. I guess I never slowed it down to a gear low enough to idle in. But guess what? Several years ago, I caught myself idling. Now, I'm going to tell you, folks, it don't happen often. I must have been really not feeling well that day. But anyhow, I caught myself idling. And I thought, oh, Lord, I'm going to call that friend and I'm going to tell him. It must be an age thing. I must have finally got to the age that you idle. Because I didn't even know idling existed back then. But I do now. But it still don't happen very often. I think I might have a attention deficit disorder or something. Not that you didn't notice that already, but just saying. Anyhow, on to the next thing. I want to tell you that when you're hunting, they don't recommend that you wear any cologne or perfume or anything like that. Uh, and they have scent cover up to put on. And listen to this, they got shampoo, body wash, and deodorant that is unscented, has no scent at all for you to use when you're going to the deer woods. And we have some, and I've used it before several times. And several times I was disappointed. Do you know why? Because when I get out of the shower, I want to smell clean. I want when somebody walks by, they go, you smell good. What you got on? I like that. Hey, I want to smell good. I want to smell it. I want other people to smell it. I want to smell good. When my grandkids or somebody, friends, family, somebody hugs me, I want them to be like, ooh, she smells good. And I want them to remember that scent. Yeah, that's pretty disappointing when I get out of the shower and I don't smell like nothing. I don't stink or anything, but I just don't smell like anything. Yeah, that don't sit well with me. I didn't like it. Also, I have this habit because I do it every day in my life, sometimes a couple of times a day. You know, the deodorant and the perfume. So I have this just routine, and I go through it without even thinking. You brush your teeth, you uh, put deodorant on, you put cologne on, all that without even thinking about it. Yeah, and you ain't supposed to be because you're going hunting. So half the time, just trust me, I'm not going without the deodorant, and I'm not going with the deodorant that don't smell like anything. I don't know how that, yeah, that don't work with me. So I put regular deodorant on. I still do that. And half the time, I'll forget, and I'll be halfway through spraying perfume on me, and then I'm like, oh shoot, that's the cleaned up version of I wasn't supposed to do that. Now I'm probably not going to see a deer. But you know what? I think they're wrong about that too. And you know why? Because I have shot plenty of deer when I have cherry vanilla or vanilla musk or just musk. I think they love the musky smell. Maybe it makes some, maybe it smells like doe estrus. I don't know, you know. And then maybe the cherry vanilla or something. They're like, that smells like something good to eat. Maybe some fresh fruit here in the middle of the winter. I don't know, but I think it attracts them kind of like it does, human bucks. And I really don't know that they're right about that. I think they like the vanilla. I think they like cherry. And I think they like the musk smells. I don't know about any other ones, but I've shot deer while I had those on. I'm just telling you, it can work. And they might be wrong about that. So there's that. You're welcome. Okay, y'all. I've sat out here and I've been quiet, even though I want to get on here several times because I've thought of a million things I needed to tell you and said I forgot. Or just some additional tips that I thought you couldn't live without, but I thought I'd go ahead and be quiet, watch for deer, and guess what happens? The squirrels, they decided to have a family reunion right here by me, and they bird dogged me. They's up there barking and making all kinds of noise and letting anything within 40 miles of here know that I was sitting here. Anyhow, I noticed that they shut up since I got on here and started filming, because a minute ago they was running around here like crazy things, making all sorts of noise, barking, running up and down the trees, jumping out of the trees, etc. So yeah, I guess I should have started filming a few minutes ago. So that's how my afternoon's going. Y'all see that beautiful sunset? It's the end of hunting day 5 here. That sunset's right over the homestead there. I didn't see anything, and yes, I was quiet for maybe a couple hours. Seemed like a lot. But anyhow, I told you, them squirrels had a big family reunion here, and so it wasn't likely I was going to see anything. I definitely wouldn't have heard anything. I would have had to have seen it, which most of the time that's the case anyhow, because them deer, they can sneak right up and be sitting in your lap before you know it, and you won't hear them most of the time. But them squirrels, like I said the other day, sound like they're dragging a 50-pound bag of potatoes through the woods. They're so noisy. They get up there and they start barking and alerting things around that you're here. That's what they's doing. And throwing or dropping nuts or hopping out of trees, running around, scampering in the leaves, making all kinds of noise. But it's fun watching them. A few closing comments here. Before anybody comments on our day 3 hunt where we said that we walked out of the woods without a light because Paul forgot to bring his headlamp. Yes, we got to discussing this. We thought people probably wonder if we know that there are flashlights on cell phones, and yes, we do. The headlamp, though, is on your head, and while you're carrying all this stuff, it's just more convenient. It shines a bigger light. It allows you and the person walking with you to be able to see out a good ways in front of you and towards the sides. And my cell phone, when you're out there where you don't have a signal, I think that the batteries go down so fast they just drain because they're searching. And I had videoed some that day. And Paul's, his battery was about dead on his, and we just opted, since we knew the direction we was going in to our vehicle and we weren't going to get lost, that we'd take it slowly, because he was dragging the deer. That's the day he harvested his doe, and a tarp, and carrying his gun, and I was carrying a gun and a couple backpacks and extra clothes and a shooting stick, and I can go on. But my hands were full. It would have been kind of inconvenient holding a cell phone. Plus, like I said, his battery was low, so we opted to save that battery in case of an emergency or an accident or a health, emergency where we might need to call for some assistance. And we made it out of the woods just fine, but we did remember the headlamp the next day. Next thing, I talked to you earlier about the fact that, at one time we had to go back for a minute. Back up. Okay. At one time we had these little gadgets that you could charge up, and you could plug it into your phone when your battery went down in the woods and charge it right back up. We got an inexpensive one, of course, because that was what was in our budget. And I'd like to get us a couple of more expensive ones. I think sometimes you do get what you pay for. Ours quit working. It worked great while it worked, so we both need one so that we can have more phone charge out there in case of an emergency. Okay, to the next thing. Remember I told you earlier that my son made the comment after previewing my something I taped for YouTube. He's like, do not put that on YouTube, or if somebody asks me, I'm going to tell them that they're mistaken, that you're not my mother. Ha ha. Anyhow, rude. Anyhow, do you think I did it? Of course I did. When I was making the movie, I'm like, select or not select the thing that he said not to put on there. And of course I selected it. Darn tootin' I did. It's my YouTube. It's on there. He loves me. He's not gonna not claim me. And I'm certain that he's gonna be sitting there the next time we have our Sunday dinner eaten, and he'll have forgot all about it. He'll be all right. Bye. I made it in safely, friends. I got on the news and checked to see if there's any updates about the hunter that was missing. And unfortunately, my heart dropped when I heard them say that they'd found him this morning on an island by a little slough, which is, back where water backs up, and he was hunting there, and I think he was found like 900 feet from where he'd been hunting. And they thought he'd maybe slid into the slough and got wet and died of hypothermia. Heartbreaking news, not what I was hoping for at all. And I know not what his family was hoping for. So, as I end this video tonight, our prayers go out to his family. My heart hurts for him. I can't even tell you. I can't imagine the heartbreak. I know that they're glad that there's some closure to it. And just kind of at a loss for words about it. Like I said, not really what I was hoping for. You do hear stories of people being gone for several days, and you wouldn't think they survived it, but they did. And I guess you hold out all hope. But thoughts and prayers going out to their family tonight. God bless.